My name is Chloe Stokes. I'm the head of fundraising data and supporter insight at the Prince's Trust. And me and my team are responsible for managing all our flows of data within fundraising. So this is income data, data about our supporters, our events, our activities, our interactions with supporters. And reporting on this data for the purposes of decision making. The biggest challenges that we faced before we worked with Kleene was probably quite typical challenges that you get in these spaces. So one of them was a lack of reporting tools. We were relying on downloading data into an Excel format. And turning it into a bar chart, quite a simple bar chart. We had performance data sitting on a number of systems, so our CRM, our kind of operational database, our finance database, external platforms, and just no way of joining this data together at all. And then the final challenge that we were facing was that our processes for transforming data were just so manual and clunky, involved logging onto a website, downloading an Excel, manipulating within Excel, often by hand, or putting through a very clunky access database, lots of potential points of failure, risks in terms of compliance, and just really time consuming. So we needed something that was a more efficient solution to scale. A new strategy in the Prince's Trust around about 6 months before we started working with Kleene. One of these was to grow our income as a charity. We need to work with more young people every year, and in order to do that, we need to grow our income. The second is we needed to transform our income model to be much more sustainable in future. And the third is that we wanted to be the best organisation to support. So we needed to offer the best supporter journeys that we could possibly offer, and also offer the best working environment for us as well. And in order to achieve all that, we needed to make a change in our fundraising performance. We needed to be driving the performance of fundraising, increasing those efficiencies on a day-to-day basis. When we were first introduced to Kleene, I think it's fair to say we were a little bit clueless in this area. We didn't know what the possibilities were, and I think the kind of one of the best things about the introduction was to Kleene is that they made it sound so simple. So they were doing this sort of thing every day, and the problems that we described, they had encountered all of them before, and were not faced by any of the challenges that we were facing. In terms of the hesitation, I think the hesitation was probably around you don't know what you don't know. We weren't quite sure the kind of scope and the scale of the project that we were taking on, if we could resource it as well, and I think really what could be achieved. It was quite a step forward for us, and we were, I guess, hesitant about, yeah, exactly like how much value it would add to our current offer, and if the resource that we put into it would kind of produce the benefits. Four key things that we really wanted to achieve in the first period of working together. So one of them was to consolidate our data from disparate sources. As I mentioned earlier, lots of different systems, no way of matching the data. Create more efficient and less risky processes. We had recently launched a new fundraising strategy, and so we needed to produce reporting which would it could be delivered to our senior fundraising team, which would describe progress towards those KPIs. And then also making the solution sustainable as well. So developing the capacity and the skills within the current team, so that we could drive it forward ourselves in the future. The process itself to get up and running, to set up the software, was, from my perspective, painless, I would say. I would say the process automation has been transformational completely. We estimate that we're saving around about 25 hours a month from having our processes automated like they are. That means that within the resource that I have in my team, we've been able to scale up activities, and produce more outputs for fundraising, within our current headcount, within our current staff cost. That we produce. So after the first iteration, we started producing it every 6 months. After the second time we produced it, the senior fundraising team saw that we were not making the progress towards our fundraising goals and priorities that we'd perhaps expected. And so our priorities for the next financial year were adjusted, to kind of create remedial actions that would make sure that we were back on track with our KPIs. And I think as an insight professional, that is the ultimate goal, is that people are making strategic decisions based on the information that you provide them with. And the third one is just the achievement is the abilities and the skills that my team have created over the last 18 months to 2 years to own this solution, to create new reports, to create new processes, to automate, to really kind of those first two benefits that I described to you. My team now have the capability to just keep building on those and keep producing those efficiencies and those wins. So I've obviously worked with a lot of suppliers in my time. I think the difference with Kleene is that they're a really good supplier. They really, they genuinely want you to reach your data and insight goals. They want you to succeed, and they will go above and beyond to do that. They listen to your requirements and they deliver them. And 2 years in, I still speak to Andrew very, very regularly. He's given me sort of advice on other projects that we want to take on, just out of the goodness of his heart, really. I think we feel very connected to Kleene, and are just really, really pleased that we kind of took the leap 2 years ago and partnered with them. And they've done amazing things for us as well.